The voice inside of your heart and your head, you know it. Talk you through all these days ahead. Hi, everyone. My name is Gina Sims, and I run the Autism Theater Project, ATP for short. We are creating productions that are going to change how the world sees autism and also help children of all abilities with mental health, understanding people. And I have had the pleasure of working with Matteo Esposito for exactly 2 years on our latest project, new TV series called The Voice Inside. So Matteo, tell us a little bit about yourself and your involvement in the project.
So I had actually the pleasure of knowing Gina since I was sorting it out. So the play Sorting It Out is about autism and about somebody's ignorance to understand autism. And I basically the what's it called, the person that I am, I guess the cold call king, as they say. I texted Gina on your chat and I said, hello, my name is Matteo. I introduced myself. And I said, I have a play going on. Would you read it? And by the way, if anybody not purchases, but anybody has a copy of Sorting It Out, which is in book form, and I'm thrilled to say that this summer it's going to off Broadway, which I'm very excited about. So excited about! I can't wait. New Circle Theater Company. We start on the 28th, and basically the quote that you gave me, Gina, is on the back of the book. So I still have that. And I'm honoring you for that. So again, I'm Matteo, and I'm a playwright as well. I'm also a set designer. I'm going to New York as well. The same weekend of Sorting It Out, I'm going to the Tank, which I'm thrilled to say that I'm designing for a fellow person with autism, a one-woman show. The same weekend as Sorting It Out. So 2 for 1 or 3 for 1. I'm doing 2 sets. The power of all. I'm doing both set designs and Sorting It Out. I also host. So I'm thrilled. And I'm also in technical theater school in Ontario, Canada, and I'm thrilled to say that I'm doing very well. And I like this is like to go to New York for anybody is a dream come true. We need to have confidence. Like we lack as a society, and we'll get to this in a minute, but we lack confidence. We lack confidence as a society. We lack confidence in each and every one of us. And to me, why do you think I'm going to New York? Not to make a fool out of myself, and I'm being honest, to take a risk. And I know that risk will definitely pay off.
And that is the reason, one of the many reasons why I decided to work so closely with you on The Voice is you take that message of believing in yourself and you feel it in your core because you know how being able to believe in yourself has taken you through so many hard times in your life.
Yeah.
Just in the past 5.5 years, you have gone from struggling in high school, being told that you won't be able to accomplish basically everything you've accomplished in the past 5 years, to making that happen and now inspiring other people to believe in themselves and have that kind of attitude. Which is basically what the episodes right now are working on in The Voice Inside. Yep. So tell us a little bit about what makes The Voice Inside a special project to you.
Well, it's about collaboration. It's not necessarily my story. It's a story of us, the story of special needs, but we take that and put it into an artistic context. But in my opinion, it's a very special project because we have all these different collaborators, like we have a board team, but also collaborators with autism and as myself, Zachary, who plays Matthew Spintelli, who is the lead character based on myself, and based on my character. Fantastic young man. I love the kid to death. He's not a kid. And Fiona, who also plays Daisy, like to work with autistic and special needs actors, like to relate to them on a personal level and just talk to them. This is my story. And as they said, oh yeah, I can remember doing that in high school. I remember being told no. As an autistic, I'm like, isn't that ironic? The irony and the hypocrisy in that is amazing. That they relate to me. And it's just, I couldn't ask for a better team. And of course the script is great because we show you what it's like to be under the rubble. We show you what it's like to have special needs and basically not make it throughout the high school life. And yeah, it still gets me to this day, what they did to me. Again, it still gets me down right here. It gets me right here, and it gets me here, you know. And I have to say this honestly. I wouldn't say it's abuse, but I would say it's kind of like it's an abuse if type experience, because my high school life is like, it was like, when somebody, it's a trauma. That's what it is. It all comes back. It all comes back, trauma of no, all this. I'll give you an example how I can relate to that. It's like when somebody is like okay, so let's say that you're with your best friend in the war, and somebody snatches your best friend away, and you're there, and a guy mm, takes a gun and shoots him, and you're there. That's the trauma that I feel. Not every day, but every time that I think about it. And we need films like this. I repeat, we need films like this, because because the script, well, is based on all my experiences and then some. We have a lot of different outside experiences with my script, and the team has been brilliantly portraying my story, my character, and the characters of us in a way, different people with disabilities, different things. And it's just been a truly a dream come true. I never would have thought that this project would fall into my lap, basically. And and just to not wake people up. We wake up every day. People say, wake up and smell the coffee. We wake up every day. We smell that coffee. Some people like tea, what have you not, whatever. Some people like water, juice. But what I mean by that is, it's a metaphor. Wake up and be present. Be present. There's a really interesting scene which you play, Mrs. Hill, and Zachary plays Matt. I want to touch on that just for a brief moment, but not give the audience any of the dialogue. But in that scene, there's a lot of tension. And that scene, some of the stuff that the guidance counselor said to me were plopped in the film. One of the biggest questions that I am totally scared about is what will I do when my parents die? Where will I go? What will I do? And I, God forbid, if my parents were to die tomorrow, I would be lost. At least one of them. God forbid if my parents were to die tomorrow, or even my grandparents, I'll be lost. And I think a lot of special needs can relate to that. A lot of people can relate to that. And if you can't relate to that, then I don't know where your head's at if you have autism and special needs. Because, in my opinion, that is one of my biggest worries, and that comes out in the film. Yes, being dreaming, creating amazing stuff. But what I'm after is to inspire people. And I think that's why I'm here. The awards are great. The plays are great. They have great messages. The films are great. But at the end of the day, that's not why I'm here. I'm after the young kids' heart to change them. And I think you can do anything. You can do anything if you put your mind to it. And I really want to talk about that and all these young men and women and how I perceive them. So yeah, but that's what makes the film so special. There's a camaraderie, if you will, about the film, about the script, but it's also about the story of this young boy who got told no so many times. No, 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 no. Basically, that was me. And then walking out of the high school with, I don't want to give away the graduation scene, but there's something horrible that happens in the graduation scene, and that actually happened to me in a way. I don't want to give that away, but I hope people will come in and watch and understand this happened to this kid. And another thing is, if your boy or young son or daughter is younger than me, I'm 26. If you're younger than high school, the question is you should be scared for your daughter or your son, but have confidence that they might surprise you. I surprise myself constantly. Like sometimes I'm like, how did I get all this opportunity? How did I do this? How did I do that? Like it didn't, I lovingly joke that they fell into my lap. It didn't. It gives you relationships. It's kind of who you know. It's, do you have the knowledge to go forth? Do you have the stamina to go forth? It's really how long can you stay in the game, if you will?
What makes the voice inside different, I believe, is that we take those hard questions that the special needs community faces. We a lot of times people want to ignore those questions, and I think that's
Of course, yes.
there tends to be more of a focus on the younger population of people with special needs as opposed to the older. Because there's so much fear there about what happens, which is why,
Yeah,
and that's why with
absolutely.
the voice inside, and that's why with the voice inside, I wanted to focus on teens and young adults and how do they succeed for real in real life, So
Right.
we face those questions. We show you the dark moments, but we also show you the light moments, and it's all
Yeah.
based on the true story, the core of the story.
Absolutely. Of course.
So yes, what you said is so true. It's so important for families who have a child who's struggling in any way, whether they have special needs or not, struggling in any way, to believe, okay,
Right. Yeah.
things can get so much better. You just have to keep the faith every day, while facing the reality at the same time. Matteo, what would it mean for you if when you were in high school, you saw a TV show like The Voice Inside?
Whether it was on TV, on literal Netflix or whatever, Codeco, that's a local TV station in Canada, or Netflix, which is in North America, whatever. Even if the teacher shows it, I'm like, wow. Like, of course, I created the product, and it's the same thing with sorting it out. If my play was a tour, which would be a good idea for future people, because it's all about autism and understanding and compassion and everything. If my play, literally, and it's the same with the film, if my play got shown in a big auditorium and I'm like, what the heck is this? How can I get involved? I'll be contacting you the next day. Honest to God, like you know what I mean? But of course I'm involved, but it's, it's the play, it's the movies that I would like to see, what we would like to see as people want to change people's perspective. I hope young people do the same as me. I hope, how did they do it, and how can I get involved? I hope that it touches them to the core, whether it's my play or the film or whatever I do, or whatever we do as a company, non-for-profit company. The Autism Theater Project, and which is you and The Voice Inside, are two great companies, and I'm so beyond blessed. People say I'm lucky. I say I'm blessed, because I'm truly blessed to be with you, with this company, and telling stories that are meant to be told, whether on stage or screen. I know screen is two-dimensional. Theater is 3D. Theater to me is a more in-person experience. You're with the actors, you're with the scenery. But even a film or even a television show could be so moving. And I think that's what we're after. I don't know if I mentioned this, but I'm after the young people's hearts. I want to change their perspective on autism and disability and different people in general. And that's what I'm after. I'm not after the fame. I'm not after the money. I'm not after the fortune. I'm not after the paparazzi. All that can go in the garbage, in my opinion. What I'm after is people's heart. I want to change them, saying, if I can do it, you can do it too. It's really that simple. But people don't want to wrap their head around, oh, if an autistic kid can do it, I can do it too. Yes, you can. You know what I mean? And that's what I'm thinking. That's what I want, not thinking, but that's what I want these young men and women to understand is when they watch this film, they get an authentic representation, both in writing, because it's my stories, and in the portrayal of acting. And I want to touch just a tiny bit on this industry for a bit, the entertainment industry. It's not an industry, it's a business. If you think about it, people use the industry word so lovingly to hide it, but it's a business. It's who you know that loves you, that can do something for you. And if you don't know anybody, you make those connections.
How would you say The Voice Inside is different from other television shows about autism that have been out?
That's a good question. Because of the portrayal. And I'll tell you something, I hate this beyond with a passion. Just like other special needs people in the arts, and even special needs in general, we don't get an authentic portrayal every time. We don't get even a good portrayal every time. We get a dumb portrayal every time, with a person who does not have special needs being in our situation and getting the big bucks for it. That's pathetic. That is a no-no for me, and that is a no-no for a lot of people who want to be in this industry. And if I may touch upon this, what we are doing is amazing because of the fact that we have an actor who has autism, we have a writer who has autism. Very seldomly you'll have designers, writers, directors, choreographers, actors who with special needs or neurodivergence or even mental health issues do the jobs. It's usually neurotypical people. I honestly hate to say that, and you still think wrongly about us. We are assets. We are not liabilities. We are assets. We are not liabilities. Like, just because I go like this, huh, and I have outbursts, doesn't mean that I'm not capable of acting a role. Doesn't mean that I'm not capable of writing. Doesn't mean that I'm not capable of designing. I wrote this. This is sorting it out. It's in book form. I wrote this. You know, if anybody can big like that, I can do it too. And you can do it too. Like I said, it's no biggie. It's no biggie. And I mean that with a passion and a verb in my voice. Not verb, but, you know, anger in my voice. Because the thing is, people need to understand that we are assets, not liabilities. Everybody's an asset. People think, oh, because he's a minority, we'll just shove him. No. And I mean that, no. In my opinion, we are assets, not liabilities. And people use some people use the excuse, well, I don't have any issues. Why should I hire him? But again, it's empathy. You have to put yourself into other people's shoes. And again, that's what we're doing with The Voice Inside. We're trying to make the audience feel as if they were me, aka Matt Spintelli, Matthew, lovingly played by Zach, and putting a spin on the classic story of the underdog, basically, in an autistic high school and GED sort of way, and with humor, with heart, with a few dark moments today. We have a few, and a lot of dialogue that if you listen clearly and pay attention, you'll be moved, just as I got moved writing it. And I know I needed to tell this story, so you know what I mean. It's all good, but like I said, we need to be present. We need to be open to be accepting these experiences. A lot of people are not open to accepting us. They know that they're there. They know that we are there. They're aware that we are there, but they don't accept us. That's what we have to focus on. We have to focus on inclusion. Instead of shunning away, we invite these minorities. Get to know us. Like I said, get to know us. We're here. We're not going anywhere. We're here. We're not going anywhere.
I would say that we're going beyond inclusion too, because I think what we're after is to really learn and listen to this the same way we would people, anyone. You know, if you really want to get the most out of your interaction with someone, then you're here willing to learn from that unique life experience that they've had. One of the main takeaways I want for students and for kids, teenagers to take away from this is that you can learn from that person in the special ed class.
Yes.
You can be inspired by that person. You don't just have to sit with them at lunch to feel like you're a good person or to feel like you're being inclusive. Not that now that's a good thing to do, but we're not setting our school system up and setting our culture up so that the mainstream students and the special education students can really learn from each other. And that's one of the main things we wanted to make sure we put in The Voice Inside. There's a scene there where there's a mainstream student and a special ed student, they learn from each other. And we're going to expand on that relationship in the future. There's actually a relationship between Matt Spintelli and his girlfriend is neurotypical, but she has dyslexia.
Right.
Anyway, so that's the big thing we want to take away. What are other main takeaways that you want students to have from this series? Like, how do you want them to see autism after watching this?
In a whole new light. One hand, like you said, with people like neurotypicals, meaning with the neurodiverse, one hand washes the other. That's what Anna, my grandmother, told me. Nonna Anna, which means nonna, which means grandma in Italian. Nonna Anna. She says, Matteo, one hand washes the other. And it's true. You give somebody a gift, you should say at least a compliment, thank you. But most young people don't know even how to say thank you. They don't even know how to be polite. And I think that this film also touches on the verb of differences. Differences as in differences in knowing, differences in understanding, difference in recognition as well. Oh, he's different than me. I don't have to basically have a hush puppy relationship with him or her, but I know a little bit about that because I saw this. And that's what I want. I know a little bit about why does he stim, which is, like I said, paperclip and twist ties. Why does he stim? Why does he do behaviors? Why does he get angry all the time? And, or get angry at sometimes. Why is he nonverbal? Why does he walk a certain way? Why does he look a certain way? And these little details come out beautifully in the film. My hope is that after they watch The Voice Inside, they're going to be so moved. I hope that they say, I actually want to go to my local library and read about autism, and maybe inspire a whole new generation to be autistic helpers or personal support workers, what have you not. But I just want them to have a whole new light and a whole new understanding for what is a disability. You know what I mean?
It sounds like you want them to be able to see the reality of what that experience is for someone. Could you talk a little bit about how the mental health aspect of The Voice Inside could help teenagers just in general? And before you do that, I just want to clarify for people that the reason The Voice Inside is called The Voice Inside is because there's a voiceover that says the thoughts of the main character's head. And the main character in the episodes we're working on right now is Matt Spintelli. And in future episodes, the main character may change so we can hear the voice inside other people's heads. The idea is everyone has a voice inside, everyone has a perspective, and everyone is listening, whether they can speak easily or not. So go ahead and talk about how mental health plays a role in the voice inside.
Not only do I have autism, but I have autism, OCD, which is obsessive compulsive disorder, ADHD. I have Tourette syndrome. I take medication because of so I have a lot. I have graphic motor, which is a thing that I can't draw properly. The muscles in my hands cannot really function properly. So I have a lot of that mental health issues. And there's a part where Matt hits himself in the film. Sadly, I do that, and I still do that very lightly to this day. Matt's thoughts of the past keep coming in now. Gladly, they don't come anymore. It's funny because, I'm a very spiritual guy. I believe in God. I believe in Jesus. I don't want to cause any controversy, and I want to talk about that as well. And having the spirituality side, also with believing in yourself, never giving up, and working hard. But also, and basically, the man upstairs cured me from both. I don't hit anymore. I don't have any thoughts. I prayed. And that's how powerful both of those beautiful gentlemen are, God and Jesus. I'm sorry to say that to the people who don't believe, and I wish more people could be more believing, because sometimes it's going to be too late. I have a lot of outbursts. I have a lot of anger issues. I have all this stuff. It makes me angry that I still have this. And I'm like, why do I have it? 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 To teach, I think, to teach. That's my opinion, to teach. Not with a chalkboard and being a degree with by a university saying I'm a teacher. No. I teach using my plays. I teach using my my works, my sets, and I teach also by inspirational talking like this, and it's beautiful what gifts people can possess if they really look into their heart, if they look into their mind, if they look into for spirituality for help. But it's really, really amazing that sometimes you can be cured just by praying, and or just by having a lot of faith. And I think that's what people lack in this world, is with mental health, with autism, even with neurotypicals, they lack four things: faith, the one up above, believing in themselves, work hard, and never going up. They lack those four things. A lot of people do. But I can tell you this: if you don't believe in at least one of those things, I'll lean up to the camera, then why are you here on earth?
What was really cool was writing together and figuring out together how Matt goes from dealing with all this anxiety and the anger and the hitting, and then how he's able to adjust his voice inside and his own faith in order to start to overcome those behaviors.
Mhm.
What about teachers? What do you want teachers to learn from watching The Voice Inside?
We all have potential. We all have potential, but come on. Like, we all have potential. Give us time and we'll show you. Give us time, but you have to give the right supports. One thing that is not in The Voice Inside is I'll be very frank, I'll be very honest. There was a time where last semester of my high school, this doesn't come out in the film, but I beginning to share it in college. I had to take one grade 12 college English. I was in special ed at the time. And I remember the life skills teacher, he said, we can put you in a grade 9 English course without an EA. That's like taking a calculator away from a person that needs a calculator math class. Why can't we go back to loving, understanding, and helping people? Why?
I think a lot of times the services relating to the special needs population have been overlooked or underfunded because there's just a lack of faith there in what we can really do for them.
Mm-hmm. Like the government, in my opinion, the government doesn't care about each and every one of us. The government is controlling each and every one of us. That's why we pay taxes. I don't want to get into this too much, but the government wants to really control us and really make us focus on a different way. With media, with today's music. Today's music is horrible, in my opinion. I don't like video games. I don't like today's music. I don't like sports. I like what I like, and that's it. Going back to The Voice Inside, we have to use a brand new technique, I think, or brand new techniques, like work with autistic individuals. And doing it, this is it feels like this is what society is showing you, but this is what we are actually thinking. We turn the camera over here, but this is what we're actually thinking as human beings. It's really remarkable what we are doing again. But the thing is, the government really doesn't care about us. The government doesn't care about anybody but themselves. I hate to say it, whether you go to a communist country, to North America itself, they don't care about anybody but themselves. Why do you think we pay so much? Why do you think a lot of people are below on the poverty lines? The government owns the banks, they own teachers, they own the education system. I wonder why the education system's not going anywhere, because the government doesn't care.
Really believing and seeing the earning potential of this growing special
education
population would change things for sure.
Be present, and know what you're showing to your kids. In my opinion, all the kindness, all the compassion always starts at home.
How do you see The Voice Inside being a positive force in the media for teenagers?
In my opinion, there's really no show out there like this that has an autistic character and it has an autistic actor written by autistics, done by a great team that has disabilities and neurotypical people, and it's amazing. Neurotypicals, neurodiverse, it's amazing. Again, we want to stand out, and I think that stand out from the competition, if you know what I mean. And I think that's another thing that this is a hidden message for these young men and women. When they go to get a job, when they go to get anything like that, they have to stand out from their employees, from their processors, and stand out from their competition. That's why most people don't get the job that they want, because they don't stand out. And a lot of these and that's why we're trying to stand out from the competition of TV shows and films and all this stuff. Because this is very unique, this is special, this has never been done before, in my opinion. When have you seen a few autistic people behind the scenes writing and an autistic actor in a film? When have you seen that? Both. I'm not just talking about an autistic actor in a featured role, or maybe even a standby role, or even as an extra, even a Down syndrome, even cerebral palsy. Come on, with the picture people. Like, we need to understand that this is unique. Projects like this rarely get done. And I think that these young men and women need to understand, and I'll just hammer a few more things home for these young men and women. If you are a young person in high school, beginning of college, or university, I'm at 25, going on 26. I'm not an entrepreneur. I'm not a political leader. I'm not a teacher. I'm an inspirer. I say that I want to inspire people. And I'll tell you something for these young men and women. A lot of men and women like this. I'll show you this. I can do that. Now here's my point by whistle with my fingers. A lot of people say, cool, dude. I can't do it. Of course you can't. Because even though I showed you the technique, it takes 3 things, you know. And what are they again? Never giving up, believing in yourself, and working hard to achieve that whistle.
For sure, I agree. The voice inside is very motivational because you see someone make this journey from struggling so much to succeeding.
Yes. Yeah.
See the reality of about the struggles associated with it.
Mhm.
But I would
Yeah.
also say
Yeah.
that what makes the voice inside different is that it is relatable, real, raw, and also wholesome. And
Yes.
it's very rare to find those combinations. A lot of kids, especially teenagers, believe, oh, if the show is wholesome, then it has to be cheesy and kind of like gloss over.
Of course, blossoming like a sugar-coated unicorn, sort of beautiful, fake sort of thing. No, we want to show you the real version of what, in a sense, what an autistic person went through in his high school life, and the steps to achieve what he wanted to achieve. It's hard work, extremely hard work. Sorting it out took me about 10 years to make it in New York. 10 years, 3 years in the making, just for my producer and the director was amazing, John, to get us to theater. 3 years, the pandemic and so forth. But that play took me years to write, years to perfect, years to put it on stage. And for people to pick it up, it's amazing, but it doesn't happen overnight. I was my own literary agent. You have to be your own boss. You have to be your own literary agent. You have to be your own music producer, because you all know what's best for you, and a company does not. If you have a dream and you are willing to work for that dream, if you have all the verb inside of you that you can do it, then do it. Do it. You're truly one of a kind. And I thank you so much for wanting to collaborate with me. And by turn, I thank, if I may, all the autistic and special needs people and all the people who are going to watch these films. And I want to say thank you.
Our goal for The Voice Inside is to have it be shown internationally in the mainstream. The first thing that we want to do is do private showings for schools and organizations related to autism, mental health, or just mainstream schools in general. And we do need help to do that. So we are going to be running an Indiegogo fundraising campaign, and you can also donate just by going to www.autismtheaterproject.org and just hitting that donate button. If you want to get involved in some way or just tell us something or tell us how this video affected you, you can contact us via the contact page on the website. Learn more about the other stories from people on the spectrum that are incorporated in the episodes we're working right now on The Voice Inside. It's not just Matteo's story. We also have incorporated some inspiration from Kayla Taylor's story, and her interview will be coming out. And we've also had some inspiration from Fiona Ledesma, who did a lovely interview with NBC. So our goal is also to show many different stories. We have other stories on this channel that we plan to write into The Voice Inside, our series, once we have the funding to be able to create more episodes. So yeah, thank you for watching, everyone.
Thanks, guys.
Voices,